Good morning. Today we are here to introduce you to the all-new President Randy 2 hybrid radio. As you can see, this radio that you're looking at right now is in a portable configuration. And by that I mean you can see that there is an antenna that is already fixed to the radio. And the other different aspect compared to a normal CB radio you would see is that there is an inbuilt battery pack, and hence the unit can power itself and does not need to be connected to a vehicle, battery or a external power source in this particular configuration. So therefore the unit is truly portable with an antenna as well as the battery pack. To use the unit is as simple as turning the volume button on. You hear a click and you hear a beep, and now you should be able to see a channel counter on the screen. You can see it says channel 20, so you know that your unit is on. Now, as with all President CB radios, the unit is designed so that it is extremely easy to use, and at the same time there are a lot of different features. So in order to use it, you just need to make sure firstly that your volume button is turned up so you can actually hear the other person. And to use it, all you do is, if you turn the unit on the side, this is the push to talk button, and you push to talk. When you are transmitting, you can see that the line is, that the LED on top of the device is red, and when I release it, it's off. So I'm not transmitting again. When I push to talk, the LED comes on showing me that I am transmitting, and when I release it, it is off. So again, using the President Randy 2 is as simple as that. You turn it on, you push to talk, and you're basically live with your transmission partner. So there are several different features on the radio, and we'll give you all the details in the user manuals. But I wanted to take a couple of minutes to show you how these functions are laid out on the radio and point out to some of the important ones. Now, as you can see on the radio, there are 4 buttons. On each button you can see that there are 3 commands. There is a command on the button itself, there is a command above the button, and then there is another command written below the button. And the way this works now is, if you push the command button just once with a gentle tap, you basically see that there is a change here. Now this is the channel down button. I gave it a gentle press, and you saw earlier we were on channel 20, now we have gone to channel 19. And all the buttons that are here work the same way. If you give the buttons a normal push, then the command that is written on the button works. So for example, if I push the channel up button just lightly, you can see I've gone up from channel 19 to 20. And all these buttons work the same way. So if you want to access the middle command, you just give the button a normal push and the command will be activated. Then for the buttons, for the commands that are actually there on top of the keys, so for example, on top of the first one you can see a lock symbol. To activate that command, you just have to give a longer push. So as you can see, I pushed this key for about 3 seconds, you heard a beep sound, and now you can see the lock icon that has appeared on the top left hand side of my screen. So it means that to activate the lock command, I just gave this button a long press. And as you can see now, when I try to change the channel, I cannot, because the keys are locked since I've activated the lock. And then to deactivate the lock, I would basically do the same thing. I give the same key a long press, you hear a beep, and now you can see that the lock button is gone, and I can move my channels again, and these keys are active. So it's the same principle with all the commands that are on top of the keys. Just give the button a long press and the command on top will be activated. Then as you can see, you have a third layer of commands that are actually below the keys. And in order to activate these, if you turn the radio on its side, there is a function button here. That's the button just below the push to talk. So if I push the function button in conjunction with one of the buttons here, it activates the lower command that is written below the key. Once again, this is now light the display screen as a function. So if I want to activate this, I push my function button, and at the same time I push the third key. and you can see that the display lights up because I have activated the illumination command. So as simple as that, for all the commands that are actually there below the buttons, you just have to push the function button at the same time as you push the command button. So there you have it, 3 different layers of commands. And let's talk about 1 or 2 of the more important commands. The rest you can read at your leisure in the user manual or contact us, and we'd be happy to share with you. The one command that is quite important to note is this over here, which is H/L, and this refers to the power setting. Now, this being a portable CB radio, as I mentioned, we have a inbuilt battery pack, and that has 2 different levels of power setting. At the low power setting, you actually have both in AM and FM the possibility of transmission at 1 watt. When you go to the high power setting, in AM you're working with about 2 to 3 watts, and with FM you're working at roughly 4 watts or maybe a little bit more. Now the implication of that is in low power setting you will actually have a longer battery life because you're consuming less power. But correspondingly your distance of transmission and reception will be a little bit less. And if you work with high power, the reverse is true. You get more distance, but your power consumption will be higher. So it's really a choice, and it depends on what is important in the way you're using the CB radio, so you can choose either. But keep it in mind so that you don't needlessly drain battery power if you don't need the distance, or you're using low power when you actually require more distance, and therefore in that case you should be using the H. So to activate this and to see what level of power consumption is working, there is an icon over here that you may be able to read on your screen which says H. And so this means that I am working in the high power mode. If I want to go to the low power mode, since again this is a command that is above a key, if you recall, I have to give the key a long push. Okay, you hear the beep, which means the command has been activated, and now you should be able to see an L instead of the H. And so that signifies that I am working in the low power mode. So again, not to say that one mode is better than the other. It really is a choice, and you have to think about what is better in your specific situation. In addition to the power command, there is one other parameter that I would like to talk to you about, which is squelch. Squelch, as you know, is a way of dampening the noise that comes with transmission and reception in a CB radio. And this being a President CB radio, one very positive aspect is that we have automatic squelch that is on all the time. And so you're getting a certain amount of noise filtering when the radio is on regardless. In addition to the automatic function, you also have the possibility of setting certain levels of squelch manually. Now to access that, the squelch is embedded inside the menu function. And if you recall again, for a command that is below a key, you actually have to push the function button and you push the menu button, and you can see it says squelch 01. So on squelch, you can see that as I am clicking up, squelch level 1 has gone to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 and now back to 1. So it really depends on how you want to operate the radio, and you have these 6 different levels of squelch, or you can have the squelch turned off all the time. And again, it's not to say that one level of squelch is going to work better than the other. It depends on your particular situation, what level of squelch is sufficient to filter out the annoying noises that might come. And also recognize that what squelch does is it does a certain amount of filtering. So if you operate at a very high squelch level of squelch level 6, for example, and somebody is moving out of your transmission range, you might actually lose the signal in addition to filtering out the noise. On the other side, if you are on squelch level 1 or 2, that possibility is lower. So typically we work with the lower squelch levels, 1, 2, or perhaps 3. But again, you have to see in your particular situation if you feel that a higher squelch level is more appropriate. In general, I would say try to work with a lower squelch level and only move up if you find the disturbance is quite bothersome. So those are 2 probably of the most important functions that I've highlighted, which are the power option as well as the squelch management. Then of course, just to quickly go over the other functions, we've talked about the lock. You can scan channels. You can scan or you can toggle between two channels with the double watch function. We've already talked about the power mode. This is the channel up and down. This is the AM and FM button. You can see we're on FM now. So if I push, we go on to AM. If I push once again, we come on to FM. This is the program function. This is the up key for the channels, so you can go up to channel 21 or come back to channel 20 with these keys. The menu has the squelch and a couple of other functions that are built in. This is your scan list of channels, i.e. which channels you want in your scan list. This is the illumination, so you can actually light up your display. And then this is the Roger beep function. So a lot there, as you can see, and as always our endeavor is with President Radios to make them feature rich. So at your leisure, look at the user manual, look on our website, and you will get more information about these functions. And of course, feel free to contact us. So there you have it. The radio itself, as you can see, is very ergonomic. You have an average sized hand, and it fits comfortably in the palm of my hand. And as I mentioned, to use it, it's very easy. So let's take a small test. The unit is on. Let's see, I'm on channel 20 FM. Normally our after sales service is on the same channel, so I am going to try to talk to them with the CB radio. And once again, as I said earlier, what we do is we push to talk and we transmit. Joel, do you copy me? This is Kavi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you copy?
I copy you perfectly, 515.
Okay, thank you, Joel. So as you can see, the transmission is loud and clear, and we have simplicity of usage. All I did was push to talk, and the volume, as you can see, is strong and robust. So there you have it. That is the basic utilization of the Randy 2. And as I mentioned at the beginning, it's a hybrid 2-in-1 radio, and right now we have only focused on the portable mode. We will give you another video that we will append to this to show you how it is used as a mobile or an in-vehicle radio. The last couple of things to point out before we finish this particular module is that if you look on the other side of the radio, there are a couple of jacks, and one is a microphone jack and then the other one is a speaker jack. So you can buy different accessories from us, and I haven't got the entire list. You'll see them on the website. But for example, if you would rather use a traditional push-to-talk microphone instead of using the Randy's inbuilt push-to-talk, you can actually attach it. So you have an accessory that looks like this, which is a push-to-talk microphone. And all you have to do to activate the microphone is you connect it into the jack here. And so now what will happen is, if I want to transmit on the Randy, I can just take this microphone and use the push-to-talk on the external microphone. And I'm pushing to talk now, and you can see that the light on top of the Randy is red, indicating that I am in transmitting mode at the moment. So it's as simple as that. Again, you don't have to use the accessory, but perhaps in your particular situation the ergonomics are better if you are using a external microphone. And as you can see, I left the push to talk button and the red light has gone off. Last thing to point out is that the Randy will also come obviously with another accessory that is a AC adapter. And as you can see on the battery pack, there's a small rubber protection. If you raise it, you can see that there is a jack, and basically your AC adapter, like you would for a mobile phone, would just plug into this, and you would plug it into an AC wall outlet and charge the Randy 2 for a few hours before you actually use it. So that's another important accessory, and that actually comes with the Randy 2 portable version. So there you have it, folks. Simplicity of use, feature rich, and a portable radio, at least in this particular version. So we will finish for now, and we will come back to you shortly with the mobile version. Thank you for your time.